It's the Berzerk Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is starting up right now with Olivier with the weird stuff on his head. That's the best presentation ever. That's the first impression of Olivier. So guys, lots of people... Look at you, Mike. Still not in colors. So guys, we'll have a lot of people to welcome to present today, actually. So let's start with our special guests. Right here, diagonal with us, we have Polymorph Games, Phil and Leo. Ladies and gentlemen,
hi guys. Hi.
Say anything in the chat, press F. I don't know what's the deal on the internet, but hey, say a big warm welcome to all of them. And also we have Olivier right here. Olivier, who is a coder from Berzerk Studio. You have seen his little avatar in the intro. So yeah, today we're gonna mix things a little bit up. We told you like a bunch of weeks ago that we wanted to invite new indies and new creators out there to talk about their success, their failure, and give a little bit of insight of the under the hood of what's happening in their head. So today we got just punched in the face by zero stats. That's happening 13 months in a row. Thank you very much for the sub. So yeah, guys, how about you gonna present yourself?
Yes, so I'm Philip, one of the co-founders of Polymorph Games. This is Leo, the other co-founder. We are the creator of Foundation. So thanks for having us on the chat. We're really happy to be here with you guys.
Sure,
thanks for being here.
When did you launch, by the way? Foundation was really recent, right? A couple of weeks.
Yeah. We launched the early access February 1st. So a little more than a month and a half. It went pretty well, actually. So we've been pretty busy since then.
Oh yeah, pretty well is like more than that. It's been super well for you guys. So it's been released in the early access. I'm gonna have like lots of questions later on, actually, about that. Like, how did you how was it like something that you did plan since the beginning? Like, we're gonna release that. I don't know. We're gonna spend like 1 or 2 years in development on this, and then we're gonna release early access, and then we're gonna release in 3 years or something. Was it something all planned out, or tell me a little bit about the background?
Yes, it was something that was kind of planned. The only thing that was unknown was the dates, actually. So we really wanted to have an iterative approach, being very close to our community. Mm-hmm. So that's why we find it important to not release like a final product. It was important for us to iterate with the community. That's why we had first our pre-alpha was on sale from our website. And then we keep developing the game until it has more content and more stability, and then we decided to go to early access. So February 1st.
So it was accessible on your website at first, like for free, or on a special private website somewhere, or?
No, after the after the Kickstarter, that was back in February 2018.
Okay.
We wanted to give the opportunity for players to still buy the game and play it early. So that's why we set up. Leo set up the website with a small PayPal shop, so people could still pledge for the game and have access to the early build of the game.
Okay. So you just slowly increase your fan base and your user base, starting from your Kickstarter and then slowly growing up, and then when you have like a stable thing with already that it's stable enough because people have tested it and all, you just like open up the valve a little bit bigger and bigger, right?
Exactly.
Oh,
So
good.
Yeah.
So for the people out there that don't know, what is Foundation?
I don't know. Yeah. I
What
guess
is
so.
it?
You don't know?
There are some people that
the question
are
was, what is Foundation?
What is Foundation? Okay.
What is Foundation? I don't know.
Is there
I just made a random Kickstarter and people are buying it. I don't know.
It was not part of the deal to explain the game. So yeah, Foundation is a medieval city builder that is totally gridless. It's playable on PC. And what do we mean by gridless is that you can build almost everywhere. So you can place your buildings everywhere, every rotation. So there's a lot of procedural stuff in the game. So we really want to create a game that will allow you to shape medieval organic cities. So you will also customize unique monuments. So instead of, for instance, placing the same church over and over again in each of your games, you will assemble it with from building parts. Okay. So churches, the castle, monasteries, you can really customize your city, your buildings, and it's really a creative tool to create organic cities.
Damn. So no two buildings are alike, or you can
yes.
make.
So there's the production buildings that are all the same models, but if all the major buildings like the church, the Lorne Manor, it's the keep is buildings that you will assemble from building parts. So you really can customize your own creation.
I should have put like a video, because now this is me trying to play it, alright? And I'm not a city builder guy, so it might be slow a little bit. I will count on you to talk over my noobness. Yeah. There we go, Village Center, I got it.
Yes. So you have to pick the territory. Yeah, exactly. So the yellow shape you need to build. This is your starting land. So okay. The first thing you need to do is place you can use a WASD for panning.
Okay, sweet, perfect.
Exactly.
I'm so glad you're here, guys. I suck in city building games.
So basically, it's we have some inspiration, of course. We are inspired by the Anno games, the Settler series, of course. So it's a kind of a lot of inspiration from many city builders. So one aspect of the game is that you need to develop your production chains to fill the needs of your villager. So one of the first things you need to do, for instance, is to give them access to food. So the first food you can give them is berries. So you can set up your berries production chains.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Sweet.
But you will also need to collect some resources. So you need to, the basics: the wood cutter, the stone cutter, and the gathering hut.
Nice. All right, sweet. I don't want to I feel that if I play all the time, I'll be like and not follow the conversation. So I'm gonna go in here and go like on the Steam page while we talk about it.
So how has early access been for you guys? Good feedback about it, or?
It's been incredible. First, it was a first experience for us. And we had a lot of wish lists, so we were pretty confident the launch will be noticeable, but really was over our expectation. So it was a pretty intense experience. So we needed a couple of weeks to just ground again back to the reality.
Yeah.
Following the numbers, the feedbacks, and
what's more intense, running a Kickstarter or launching on Steam?
What was that?
What is more intense, running the Kickstarter campaign or releasing on Steam?
I think the Kickstarter was more intense in a way. It's very different, but you had more pressure for the early access for the Kickstarter, because that was the first time we exposed the game to a large audience, and for the early access we already had our community, we had some sales on our website, so we were pretty confident that we would be at least okay. For the Kickstarter, that was a bigger challenge because we had no idea if it would have been a success or not, and if you fail a Kickstarter, you completely fail, right? So
yeah.
And Kickstarter is very hard those days, so a lot of people warned us about making a Kickstarter, so it was a bit stressful, yes.
Yeah, there's been a couple of notable failures over time.
No.
And I have a question about
non-success, not failures.
Yeah. In terms of early access, do you have a set of features that you say, okay, after these features, it's 1.0 and you exit early access, or right now you're just going and incrementing over the game that you have right now and just seeing how it's going, and you don't know yet?
Yeah, there's definitely a list of things we know we need to check to be able to get out the early access, but there's also a lot of things that will depend on a lot of other things. You want to say more about that?
Yeah. Well, we have a roadmap. We have a big plan. So yes, the game at some point we will consider it as complete. So we will have all the content we want on it. But there's also some stuff that are more complex than others. So in terms of content, we have a pretty fixed, established roadmap. But there's still a lot of work to do. For instance, the map generator. We have modding too that is coming. So it's cool. Exciting stuff. And so yeah, we will take the time it needs to be complete. And once we are satisfied, we're gonna leave early access. So we estimate that 1 year in early access, but obviously it can move. So
yeah.
And since the release on the early access, have you guys like changed direction because of some feedbacks, or have the feedbacks kind of altered the way you envision the final project, or you just stick to the final project and like, but still listen to the feedback? I don't know.
We are so we were pretty attentive to the feedbacks. There was major things like that we didn't anticipate that much. So hardware compatibility, it was pretty painful for some player because there's so much configuration to support, and we are such a small team. So on the first days after the early access release, we had prioritized fixing those crashes and trying to support more hardware. We had some concern also from players with the tutorial. There's a lot of information in the game, and a lot of players were kind of left alone. So because we had a basic help, but we needed to do more. That's what we tried to do in the last content patch. But the good news for us, at least, is that people really enjoy the core of the game. They really understand where we are going, and this is had comforted us in our direction. So we are moving forward and keep going in that direction. So for us, it was the biggest. We were very happy about. Knowing that people really understand the core and loved it. So
yeah, most of the players' feedbacks are going in the way of what we want to build. So that's good. There's not a lot of surprise in what players are asking, but it can help adjusting priority. I think that's the best thing we get out of the community is realizing that these features that we expected to do way later in the production was needed sooner, and vice versa.
Okay. So there's still like it's comforting to see that the fans are in line with what you want to do with the final project.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
If you had released that on early access and 10,000 people are like, well, I want it to be like an RPG. Can you make an RPG? I'm like, well, no, I guess. It's good to see that. Yeah, because that's kind of scary. That weird question: is that considered like a game as service? Does it need to be like a freemium to be a game as service, or the game as service that also counts like when you're releasing update constantly up to a final product? Do you know what I'm talking about, or?
Yeah, but
no. Anyway, I just wanted to say that those category of game where you have to always like iterate on content and be very close to the community. That takes like 3 more people just to handle the community and be sure that the communication is over there. No. So.
Yeah, we have most of the disadvantage of game as a services without the benefits, because the time game as a service mean you make the user pay as a service, so with monthly bills or stuff like that.
Like more like a subscription. Okay, that's not what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. I was talking like when you're very close to like a community. I thought that was the term of the game as service. But
Yeah,
anyway,
but I guess when you're in early access, all games are kind of as a service, because you have to answer to the feedback and iterate quickly to make sure that everybody's happy and you're going somewhere. Not like launch early access and be silent for 2 months, then everybody's like, where are they?
And we have some content update, of course, that is planned over until the end of the early access. So yeah, those are going to be major update, but I don't see it as a gamer as a service, as we won't like try to find what we'll put in the game that is new for next month. No, we have a kind of a fixed plan of the content of the game, and once we reach that point, we'll go out of early access, and that then we in Kickstarter we had some pledge. We have reached some stretch goals, so we have some plans for new content after the official release.
Okay, so there's an end in your head. It's like, okay, when we're gonna finish all those features and all those stuff, like the game will be complete, and there you go. Then you can support it with patch and stuff like that. But there's like you see not an ending like in the actual game, but like an ending state where okay, now it's finished. There you go, it's released.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
I got a question about the problems you had on the hardware side, because I know this is a very boring programmer question. It's going to be the only one, sorry.
Thanks.
But I'm going to guess it's GPU related, right? Mostly?
Yeah, maybe half of it, something like that. So it's not all of it. Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Because you guys have a custom C++ engine, so you have to manage these case by case, I would guess.
And it's also the first game we do with that engine. So
shit, that's a ballsy move.
It's a big crash test. First game, first company, first not
custom engine
as funders, and first engine, first game, etc. So yeah, there's hardware issues. Yeah, some softwares can also, some external software can break your game. That's amazing. Like,
wow,
the kind of software that the simple one would be the video capture tools. There's so much, and some of them they hook in the rendering pipeline and they do something they shouldn't, or we do something we shouldn't. I don't know, but you have some weird combination like that. Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of crazy to think that you have to support like all the graphics card, at least the most that you can. But mainly, I guess you target the NVIDIA cards, mostly recent, and you set your minimum specs around that, I guess.
Yeah, we were working with NVIDIA here, not with the company NVIDIA, with NVIDIA cards, but NVIDIA are good. Like if your program run with one NVIDIA, it's run with almost all of them, except the very, very, very old one. It's completely different for AMD and Intel. You can have an old AMD that works and a new one that doesn't. That's what happened at launch. We had a problem specifically with the next-gen NVIDIA, next-gen AMDs. So yeah, you need to test so much different AMDs to make them all work, and that's the case for NVIDIA.
And we realize that it's not only us. There's a lot of other companies that are struggling with AMD too. So in a way, it's comforting, but
it doesn't make it any easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we talk about that? Like, you mentioned that it's your first game. It's your first game as Polymorph Game, though. You guys were in the industry before that, right?
Yeah, true.
So you worked, I believe we work in the same company, like where we used to be before Berzerk Studio, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. We worked at Freema Studio, like Oli,
and I worked with Olivier.
Well,
So
we all come from.
He's terrible, isn't he?
Yeah.
I just stuck with him, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
we
you
worked
guys.
on Chariot.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, Chariot.
Yeah.
You were implying that as well, Phil. Really, right?
Yes, Chariot is a concept I created at Freema. So for those who don't know, Chariot, it's a 2D co-op platform that was out on PS4, Wii U, right?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much everything that had a display and a controller. For real, it's like PS4, PS3, Wii U, Xbox One, PC, Apple TV.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, and there's probably a couple I'm missing, but yeah.
Tiger
And
consoles.
now Switch.
So yeah, so it's a concept that started in Unity. We then decided to use a homemade engine. So Leo was part of the engine team. Oli also. And yeah, so we created Chariot.
And then, like, you just quit a company to go found your own stuff and decided yet again to create another homemade engine. Is that it?
Yeah, well, yes, because first of all, we really enjoy working together at Freema on a custom engine.
Okay.
When I had some because I was on the gameplay side, programming gameplay, and when I had some problems, I was going to talk with Leo and ask him some like new feature or new tools, and he was very understandable, and he was fighting for the game. He wanted to create a good game, as I was. So he was fighting for the game at the engine team. So it was a very nice experience. And yeah, a couple of years after, like maybe 2 years after Chariot or 1 year, we decided to start a company. So.
But why did you try to like? What advantages for you is there to build like another engine for your own stuff? Like, I believe that you're gonna use the engine for your future game as well. So why didn't you use like the classic out there, like Unity or Game Maker or I don't know, Unreal or something like that? I mean, you were used to work with Unity a bit, so.
A little bit, but we used to fight against Unity. So yeah,
Okay.
basically we talked about it a few days ago, and we said like instead of fighting against the engine, you make the engine fighting for the game.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a short way to explain our feeling. Also, I'm an engine programmer. That's what I'm used to do. I'm very good at it. I'm good at using an engine that I perfectly know also, whereas I'm really not that good at using others' engine, unless I can really go deep into it. And
And Leo had started the engine on his own
before the company.
Before, yeah.
company. Oh,
So there was kind of a core engine sleeping out there. But personally, I was very enthusiastic about going with a custom homemade engine. But I was confident that Leo was the guy to handle it. So,
Yeah.
so it's
I mean-
not a move I would have done myself, of course not, never.
Yeah, you have to have someone on a team with like lots of experience with the back end and like deep down hardcore hardware stuff to be sure. I mean, how much years of experience you got? Because that's not a path I recommend for anybody who want to start game development out there.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, build your own engine. It's gonna be easy.
Me neither.
So like how much year, just like to give a little bit of taste, like how much years of the development of experience you have, Leo?
I have how much? 7, we said.
7, yes.
I have
7,
7 years of
okay.
experience, but I'm a little bit a special case because I started programming when I was really young, and I were really interested in engine stuff
Oh, okay.
even before I start my studies. So
Okay. But yeah, so if you have 7 years of experience down in your head, like you can envision to take an engine. However, otherwise use a Unity or Game Maker or whatever. I don't know. What would be your advice for like a newcomer, new game developer out there? Like I always say the same thing, but it's always good to know from other people.
Yeah, an advice for new developers: find your own way. I mean, try Unity, of course, but also if what you want is play with OpenGL, do that. It's still possible to do that, but by no means think that creating an engine is a better way to go. Most of people that start programming engines, they end up just doing that and never do anything with it. That's a general rule. So if what you really want is making games and gameplay, and the default path is probably would be easier to use Unity. Learn by your own. That's what I did and what I recommend to everybody. But also find studying in depending on what you want to do. If you want to be a programmer, I would really recommend to find a school that will improve your skills. But don't rely just on studying, and do as much as you can and learn from others.
I think that as long as there's like passion, you'll be like, if you like to make tools, make tools. If you like to make games, you know. So like I know that sometime I'm like really deep into trying to make like weird tools and everything, and I'm like, oh, super excited about that. But then there's something in my head that says like, do you want to make tools or a game? I'm like, oh, okay, I want to make a game. Yeah. So I put that somewhere else and just like go back to making games.
Yeah. Also find the good people. You make me thought about it. If I would have not met Phil, I would be programming my engine on my own still and not making
forever.
And what I wanted is making a game with that engine, but there's no way I could have done it by myself. So some people are able to do that, but be sure of what you want. If what you want is focus on a game engine and you want to make a game with it, find people that is complementary and will make everything better, bigger, and
How big is the studio now?
It's 8%.
Yeah.
So we are 3 programmers. We have an office manager, Anne-Marie, who is taking care of all the logistic for us, all the legal stuff and things like that. We have a community manager, Ash, that is in the chat, I think.
Hey, Ash.
The beautiful Ash.
Yes, there it is. So Ash is a a guy from England. So he was one of
Kickstarter backer.
Yeah, a Kickstarter backer. Okay. He was one of our biggest fans, and he started the forum on his own. And at some point he just asked us if we were looking for a community management, and we said, oh yes, we definitely need that. And we asked him if he would like to work with us, and he said yes. He got rid of his job, and and now he's
stuck with us.
I love those stories. I mean, we have a coder here at Berzerk that we met on Twitch. I know back, like I started streaming like 4 years ago, and I was streaming like every day, working on, I think it was working on SkyQuest or something like that. And there was one guy who like always kept sending me codes. Like I was saying on the stream, like, hey, it would be nice. I have to make a class that does X, Y, and Z, and that's it. But the guy just sent me the class the next day. I'm like, oh, well, thank you, and just sent me like pieces of code that I like this like every day by watching my show. And then at one point I'm like, do you want a job? that's how we hired him like a long time ago, and now like he's part of the team and he's in the podcast and everything. We have Lachhh as well, our community manager. Same thing. He was on Twitch and was like, hey, you know what? Just you want a job? Like I love those stories, you know.
And knowing that those people are really are there because they are passionate about what you do or your game. It's I think it makes great people to work with. You know, if they believe in what you're doing, they will do. They will believe in your product. They will do what they can to help you. Right? So that's what is happening with Ash. He's very passionate and really appreciate his work.
I mean, at some point, when you want to start your company in your own game, that's the same fuel, that's the same passion that's power you to go indie and to create on that game, you know? So if somebody else is like, you know, I share your passion, I really, like, I want to work on that, like, every hour of my day, yeah, like, hop on the team, you know that he's not gonna screw you up or something. So, we got Phoebus subscribing for 19 months. Thank you very much, my friend.
I can write on what Leo said earlier on, you know, going to school is not everything when you want to start in game dev, because I think I learned more in my first year in my first job in game dev than 3 years of college or whatever. Yeah, experience is very, very valuable, even if it's not the dream job you wanted when you started school or something. Yeah, just doing something will make you learn a lot.
Did you do Oli? Did you do kind of a video game specific program or
course? No.
Generalist.
I studied multimedia. I guess it's how you say it in English. It's basically website design and integration and everything. And I had code on the side. You know, just a little. I think it's like one class per session or something like that, and but I decided that I preferred coding than designing stuff in Photoshop, so I just pushed myself into the video game industry. And when I started, it was the Flash days, so it was very, very connected to multimedia. It's still the Flash days.
It's still Flash. Flash
it's not dead. God damn it!
It's like the ham in The Simpsons. Like that goes through the streets and everything. It's still good. It's still good.
Yeah, right. You just said special.
Yes, it's
Flash is not dead. No.
There you go, Hunter. It's like Flash is not dead.
Won't die.
I mean, Google Plus will die before Flash. There you go. Boom. Boom. There you go. End of the show. Thank you, everyone. I'm kidding. Oh, man. Yeah, I did like. Well, you were talking about that you don't really need to go to school. I mean, that's a good way to proceed, but that's not the only way. Shane on the team again, the guy was talking about. Shane never had any education in coding, so like he all learned by himself, and then got this job at Berzerk, and now learning on top. You know, so.
No, I'm just saying it's not everything. You know, some
exactly.
people think that right. I mean, these days there are video games courses, I guess, fully about video games. I'm kind of skeptical of this because you expect to get out of these courses and say, I'm gonna be R&D programmer day one, and you're like, oh, maybe you need to integrate some UI first.
Yeah, and there's a lot of trailers like or publicity ads for those. For scammy schools out there, like people just go like with controllers and like like if my mom knew that I will be making games now, you know, so like
the Udemy ads are really, really cringy when you're on YouTube and there's this guy, you know, making games is a lot simpler than you think. You just pay us a lot of money and go in Unity and place a cube in the middle, and there you go. It's a game.
I just want to scream. That's the opposite. Making games is fucking hard. It's way harder.
Oh my god.
This is what I thought. Like I remember when I was a kid, I was playing I don't know Contra, for example. I'm like, why didn't they put like a level up system? It will be easy. That was my thinking back then, you know. Nowadays I'm like, yeah, no, like, we get some feedbacks like this nowadays, like, why isn't the character a bear or something like that? I'm like,
why don't we have a leveling system in just shapes and beats, Simon?
Yeah, because I'm lazy.
There you go.
Oh man.
I don't think to succeed in this industry, so knowledge is important, but you need to be kind of curious and to wanting to learn, you know, because you cannot learn to make a fun video games. You need to know what you want to do and be curious and trying to fight your way to create what you want. So you need to be patient also and
try stuff and iterate.
Exactly. So you cannot. There's no recipe to create a fun game, you know. So.
No, there's no unit test to say like, is game fun? And return true or false.
Boolean true.
Boolean true. Like, oh yeah, there we go. We gotta ship it. Yeah, there was
There's
one
like
guy.
a variable that just says that this game, like, you can set the percentage of how fun it is. Like,
Yeah.
oh yes, if set to true, then 13% fun.
Just like, I would like a Metacritic score of 83, please. And then you put that in there and boof. Yeah. But
Game.exe.
there was one friend of mine who was a teacher in a game developer class, and he was saying that, okay, whatever idea you have that you really want to create, before creating that perfect game of yours, go and create Pong and make it like releasable. I mean, sounds, pause menu, controls, interface, blah blah blah. You know, so make Pong, then make Breakout. So because like it's kind of the same thing, but the physics is a bit different, and then make Asteroid, which is like again kind of the same thing, but a little bit harder. So after those 3 games, Pong, Breakout, and Asteroid, go ahead and make your MMORPG playable and a DDR mats that can go back in time, you know. So after those 3 games, you'll know a bit of the scope of how much production is required to make that dream game of yours, and then you'll learn to just scope down and say like, okay, I have this gem of an idea here. I don't need all those fat. I'm gonna focus on this little thing, you know, laser focus on one thing and try to polish it and release it.
Yeah.
That being said, stay in school, kids.
Stay in school.
Yeah, don't quit to become a world famous game designer from night to day.
Oh, guys, by the way, I believe that our guest here had some. I can hear in the back of your office that you guys have some keys to give away. Am I right, or yes or no?
Prize.
Pretty sure I'm right. Otherwise, I'll buy those keys.
Like, if you can zoom in on the post-its in the back, it's actually an ARG game that you can get a free code.
Oh, look at that! It's like it's code to Skynet. So, guys, if you want,
Oh, this is confidential.
is it? You need a lot of hands to cover everything.
Yeah. In retrospect, it might be a bad idea to film the whiteboard. My whiteboard is pretty bad too.
So the way it works, guys, to enter the giveaway, you just have to say anything in the chat. Say anything, whatever, a question or a fart, whatever. Your name will appear right here in the participant list, and I will spin the thing in about a few minutes. So we're just gonna wait until it loads up. Again, if you want a key for Foundation, the game by Polymorph Games, our guest right now, an awesome city builder. Yeah, just say anything in the chat, you'll get it. Mike, what was next on the list?
I was gonna ask, what is the craziest town you've seen from players? Because I know Leo has been doing probably some crazy shit, but like, what have you seen that players have made that has been crazy for designs?
Well, there's a lot of crazy stuff. First of all, our biggest city I've seen so far, I think it's one that I saw the screenshot on Steam. A guy had made a 1,500 people village, and it's like the whole map is full of buildings, and it's
Holy shit. Does it break the game?
Actually, it's playing, so I expect that there's a huge toll on the performance, but yeah, it's working. So
Nice.
Is there a way for you to go fetch like the town of some user out there and like import it and test how it runs on your side, or?
Exactly. Actually, that's how we did the best performance improvement in the game by fetching players' creation and improving the performances. Like during the Kickstarter, it was so funny. In the trailer we have very small town, and after a week of alpha testing, people created cities that was twice or 10 times the size of what we created. So players are really better than us to really explore the game and create huge cities.
Do you have any limit on the size of how big a city can get?
No, the actual limit is what you said earlier. The performance at some point will, depending on your hardware, also, yeah, you will reach a point where it's not fun to play anymore. But we're gonna work on that too because we want the city to. I think 1,000 people would be something cool to be able to play smoothly on a good computer.
Cool. But right now, as of this release, I can just buy territories infinitely in one direction of the map and just go forever.
Yeah.
Well,
Holy
until
shit.
you reach the end of the map.
Also with modding, people can change costs. So you can basically have the game much more easier than it is right now. So I'm gonna send you Lachhh. I'm gonna send you a link of a screenshot.
You can post it up in the chat if you want.
Oh,
Oh no, you'll get banned.
Yeah, I'll link it.
And the one with
Wow.
yeah, where is this one?
it's on the Discord.
Ah, really?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, there you go. I want to check that out. What?
Pretty impressive.
There's like 1,000, exactly 1,000, and it's still running at 28 FPS. Look at that.
Yeah. One thing that is a bit of
Look at that.
puzzle for us is, well, the more people you have, so for the performance, it's not all about frame rate. It's about having much more people that are trying to find a way to their destination. That can this is made like in parallel. So this can impact the whole game because if it's taking longer for them to find a path, then it will create some delay. So it can just like change your economy and.
Okay, got it.
So it's.
Yeah, basically the AI will suffer with more population.
It's a more insidious problem because the players don't know about it, but it can impact.
Got it. So instead of the game lagging, the pathfinding is actually a bit slower. So it's still good running super smooth and everything. But the guy, in order to know his next action, needs to wait for the pathfinding to continue his next action, which will make transporting berries will take longer because of that. Is that?
Yep.
Okay, got it. It's so impressive though that it's like being multi-threaded, but I can see that if you run like 1,000 pathfinding algorithm out there with like a customizable city builder, I can see there's a lot of CPU there.
Yeah, we'll have a couple of strategy to fix that. Well, fix that it will never be fixed because if you can have 5,000 person, the problem will happen at some point. So that's where we need to investigate what is the limit we support as far as amount of population. I've sent you another link for an. I don't know if it's working. This one is a different creation. We have a free creation for a wall and hedges, so people are creating like crazy stuff. I don't know if you have it on the.
I sent it on the chat, so.
Oh yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. Is this one?
This one comes from our Discord, and do I need the player?
Yeah, he has it on the screen.
Is that it?
It says Sarah.
Yeah.
Like, you made a maze. Jesus.
Yeah. So this.
That's amazing.
Oh my God, Mike! Sorry, you're going into a tunnel.
Oh no!
Sorry.
That's
Oliver
a
was
variable
Admiral
offense.
the
That's pretty cool, though. That is really cool. Now, does people can share their creation? Yes, but I mean, you're saying that the maze, for example, is something that a player did. Can I import that into my own city afterwards? Like, can I import assets of other people, or is there a way to share that? Or
No, well, not yet.
okay,
There's definitely some people asking us for where they can save their template.
okay,
So that might be possible in the future, but it's not available yet.
And I gotta ask, like, you guys must have got like a screenshot of very obscene cities or something. Like, as soon as you give something on internet, you can expect a lot of penises come back from it.
Yes.
That's a video.
Guilty.
that was Mike. Mike is
made
like,
it
First rule
down.
of the internet.
but not yet, no. Like, I hope I did not send like a
Yeah,
challenge
yeah.
now.
One YouTuber that created
Twitcher.
a Twitcher that zoned accidentally in a phallic form, and when he realized it, he's laughing. It's
And he tried to
very
fix
funny.
it, and it was worse and worse.
Like, oh my god, it just like go worse.
It's like the closed roads in Gaspésie like last week or something that it made a big fat dick just on the map of Quebec. It was pretty
No
good.
way. No way.
Yeah, if I find it, I'll send it to you.
You can see that God has a sense of humor. I like it. So we have a giveaway. We're gonna segue on this. Talking about phallic form, we're gonna spin the giveaway for Foundation, ladies and gentlemen. It's starting up right now. People, one chance out of 50 people to get a key for free. Who's gonna win? Move bot, or Mike, or Emily. You guys are in there. I hope it's gonna be Ash.
Bad guy.
And we got Max 2903 is our winner. Congratulations, my friend. The key's coming up to you, but you have to say something in the chat. We do a little something here, and so you have to show your presence. You have to show to the world that you're actually here. Just say something, otherwise the monster will eat you, and we'll give the key to somebody else. You have 41 seconds. There you go. Max was here. Boom. Only 10 seconds and showed up. The winner is you. Congratulations, Max. Key is going your way. I believe that somebody in our team or your team, either somebody in Berzerk or Polymorph, will figure it out. Send you a key. I'm just the guy who spin the button and scream loud.
I see what you did there, Ali.
Yeah, I did not see it.
Check your Slack. Check your Slack.
Can I? Like, cause I'm sharing everything. I know what I can do.
Ah.
Boom! There you go. I can do this.
It's safe for work because it's actually just a map.
God damn it.
It's God's work. Okay, hang on. Yes.
God damn it. And this Twitch has got 15 plus.
Sorry. That's why. Okay, Phil and Leo, that's why you guys were saying, like, why is this channel mature audience only? That's why.
Ollie.
Sorry.
He's the bad guy.
So we sent a private picture. I don't know if we no, I don't want to share it on my screen. It's gonna be the thumbnail of the video.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So what's coming up next for Foundation? You guys have an update coming up soon with new content you can tell us, or is that something that's under wraps?
Oh yeah. So we are working on the next content update, but we haven't announced what's in it yet. We know what's in it, but so yeah, there's going to be a couple of more feature, more story elements. But I can't tell more than that. So we are also preparing some events, like we're going to PAX East in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to do stuff in parallel, of course, and we will also hire new people because we are a bit understaffed right now. We will look for programmers, for instance, to be able to deliver more faster. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that changed a lot of plans when your game gets popular and you see like, oh, okay, now we have like more expectation and more to do, and you cannot just like hire 20 guy like out of nowhere. No. First, you have to found them, and they have to just fit with the team. Exactly. I remember there was people here on Twitch saying like, "Hey, why don't you just hire a new coder?" It was like, I cannot just hire a new coder. I cannot go in Walmart and those like grocery machine. It's like B12, like a coder falls out.
Yeah,
yeah, right. One junior. Like 425, god damn it! I don't have that. Put like a couple of quarters in there, but yeah, he has to fit with the team at the end. Since when you are when your team is like only 8 people, it's gonna be your next family. So you'll care with them. It's gonna be like closer than your friends at some point. So you want to be sure that there's good energy in the office. You guys have your office here in Quebec, right?
Yep.
You're all in the same. I think you're close with other indies as well, right? Did I ever went to your place?
Did you come? We did some beer and tart and pie.
Beer and tart.
Tart.
That's Ash rubbing off on you.
Okay, so we got something. Here in Quebec called basically the beer and pie. Basically, where we just like buy a bunch of pies and gather like everybody from indies, every indies from Quebec, and we just gather around and just like chill out, talk about development and all. So you did the last one at your place, but I didn't go. Is that it?
Exactly.
Probably.
You didn't come. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd remember because it's right upstairs from the Poutineville, so you would know.
Oh, okay. No, yeah.
Your second home.
Yeah.
Poutineville is my second home. Yeah, I gotta go there. Like, how rude of me to not have been there yet. But yeah, I'll go visit you guys at one point. Yeah, there's a lot of indies like in that section. You guys, Chin's awesome. There's like the Sabotage Studio as well. So
yeah, we are on Saint Joseph Street, just in the same place as Larry and Studio. So they are just upstairs from us.
Okay.
So. We can sometimes hear them while they are in meetings.
Nice.
We know what they do.
Yeah, right. You can steal the secrets and blackmail them. That's a success to Indie Studio.
You just yell, "Shut up!"
I got a question, guys. We were talking about communities. You started out like on Kickstarter and then on Steam, and now you also have your Discord channel, which is like pretty popular as well. So you guys have your communities kind of scattered in 3 different places, and I guess there's also like Twitter and Facebook and all. So my question is like, how do you handle your communities? Do you try to focus them on like one place and like update that one, or you have like one guy look at every single communities? How do you handle that?
We are. I think the 3 main places we're doing some work is Discord, Facebook, and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And the other stuff, the other places we kind of let it live on its own, like Reddit, for instance. There's people there that it's starting to grow up. Kickstarter, we try to encourage them to come to the Discord, so it's easier for us to communicate at a central place. So it's mainly Ash is doing all the groundwork there, and sometimes I will do some more personal, specific tweet or Facebook posts. So it's a lot of work managing a community. I guess Ash can confirm that. So I'm happy we have him, but it's a lot of work, and
some might say it's a full-time job.
yeah.
Totally. Actually, guys, well, I'm gonna try to permit Mr. Ash here, so if you want to spam the chat with like all your links and all your good stuff, will that works? Yes, there you go. So Ash, you can link all the stuff, like all the Twitter account, Facebook, like go nuts. You can spam the chat. The spotlight's on you. You're the
if he ever gets timed out, I'll just untime it out.
It's fine. Sweet. Sweet. Yeah, because we had that problem that I was talking about communities. We had that problem at some point with our game. We had like Armor Game, Congregate, Steam, Android, and then Facebook, Reddit, and then Twitter, and like we had like 9 or 10 different plays, and like with their own community and their own mindset and all. And we were like, how do we handle all of this together? So I was wondering, like, how did you guys do it? So. Yeah, it's always hard as well, like when you're not a consumer yourself of that community. For example, myself, I don't really go on Steam to talk with people of like other devs out there or something. I'm not really a forum guy or nothing. So it's really hard for me to just like think, oh yeah, I should go there and well, Ziddy! Sorry, got a sub. Ziddy, I joined the battle. Thank you very much for the sub. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much for that punch in the face. But yeah, when you're not a consumer, like for example, if you're not yourself a consumer of Twitter, it's very hard to think about like, hey, I should do a tweet, I should promote myself and all that, So that. Go ahead.
One of the things is that at some point too, if your community is big enough, people can start to help each other. So it's I don't want to say it's self-maintaining, but you can only concentrate on important stuff. And people are actually pretty helpful. So I guess for a smaller community, it's less possible. But Foundation now we have a lot of people that are helping us. So
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I saw like 1,000 people on Discord already. Well, damn, there were guys like for a first game, like you hit home run on your first game. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Was there anything on the list, Mike? We got none of stuff, actually. There you go, a punch. 6 months and still fighting. Thank you very much. Nana, thank you so much. Enjoy the new badge.
We pretty much went through the entire question list. So we're going to go through the questions from the chat now.
Ooh, there you go. If you guys have any question for Polymorph or whatever, on anything. Meanwhile, I know a little bird that loves to make giveaways. Boom! You guys love my segues, right?
Segues. God damn.
I call it the best. If you guys want a key for Foundation, the game that we're talking about, game by Polymorph Games, you can have one for free right now. If you just say anything in the chat, you're gonna have a chance to be in the giveaway right over there, while we're still gonna get your question at the same time. I think that was a bad idea, actually. Like, if you have a question, now your question will be like go up in the chat because of that. Whoopsie! Can you kill a villager? Oh, is it heading toward like black and white too?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet? Oh, I like it.
It's not headed in the direction of black and white, so you're not a god, you're the Lord of the Manor.
Okay.
So people will leave, you cannot kill them. But at some point, it's something I cannot talk about.
Because it was...
You're the Lord.
So you're the Lord in the medieval times, so...
Can you send them in the pool and remove the ladder?
Stuff doesn't go the way you want, you have some kind of power.
Oh, nice. Because I was thinking about that earlier when we were talking about the lagging problem, the pathfinding thing. I was like, well, you can just like unleash like a hurricane and just like, there you go, like 700 people just like, there you go.
Tool.
Yeah, right.
Medieval Godzilla or something.
Yeah, something like that. And you keep your city like gets intact, but you call it like, I don't know, the lag cleanser or something like that. Like city optimization. All right.
No. They missed the bridge, so
oh, that'll be a terrible thing.
Elron is asking, is there a story behind the hurricane name?
No story behind the hurricane name.
So the answer is no.
It's already named your hurricane when...
No, it's just cool.
It's a cool name.
Yeah. It makes it powerful, you know?
Next question. Like the answer is no.
Right, yeah, no, there's no.
No, not prepared at all.
Right.
That's all right.
So, Ichiglikling, some name I can spell because it's mostly like consonants. How do you guys feel as the trend is going forward with microtransaction and loot boxes? That's the hot takes. What do you feel about that?
Definitely not my kind of game. I never use microtransaction, so I'm not that kind of player. So I don't have a strong opinion about this. If people want to pay to get some special stuff in their game, that's great. But we won't do that kind of stuff in Foundations for sure.
Nope.
No loot boxes for sheepskins?
Or maybe.
Oh.
Now you think about it.
that. So.
Nice. Yeah, it's always if you do it, you have to do it right. Otherwise, people are gonna jump on you're gonna look greedy very easily. You know, when you handle microtransaction or DLC. Well, DLC are fine, but like microtransaction especially, you have to do it right. If you do it right, people will support you and people will understand. But if you respect the player, it will show. But if you're just like implementing that just because you think, oh, it's gonna make a lot of money, it's gonna show, and people will want you dead and send you lots of negative feedback. So it's very, very hard. I will suggest to anybody out there to start and try a few other games before jumping in that train. You know, it's very difficult to handle.
I agree with you, and I know that I read an article that it's kind of popular though. Big games are doing big portion of their revenue with those microtransactions. I was very, very impressed by the number. I think it was 30% the revenue was coming from microtransaction. So people are buying them. So if there's a market for that, why not? It should not prevent you for enjoying the game experience. That's it.
Yeah, I make a take on that. Back in the days when I was working on Indie Your Face, I made 3 videos on microtransaction. So the whole thing lasts 30 minutes or something. So I had a lot of stuff to say. But on my second video, I said that you have to make the game fun first.
Yeah.
You know, without microtransaction. You know, because I explained that people that for example in the freemium game. If your game sucks, people not just gonna pay I'm gonna pay $10 because now it sucks and maybe it's gonna work. No, you have to make the game fun first and engaging, and then they'll want to support you and they convert into payer people. But at first, if your game suck, I mean,
then the one of the first game or maybe the only game I did that was League of Legends, where you can buy some skins. I was when I played this game at first, I was I will never pay for that. Or you can pay to have access to a character to always be allowed to play him. I was okay, no, I'm just sticking with the random character. I don't want any skins. But then I think I spent $200. I know it's not that much because a lot of players are spending way more. But I was happy to spend money to improve my experience. So I think it's one of the game. I think it was they had succeeded in doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Fortnite is good with that too, I heard.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It's kind of a new game, like Apex, I think.
Yeah.
Young people play that.
So
You know a game that you should play? You should play Foundation! We're starting a giveaway right now! Boom! So Foundation here, a game by our super special guest, our spotlight guest, Polymorph Games right here. Have a chance to get to win the game. Just be in the chat, just say anything, just chill out. You might win it. Hang on, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? CD is our winner. Congratulations, my friend. But because there's always a but, you have to say something in the chat. Chop chop.
This is the second one, right?
Yep, this is second one. City, please say something in the chat, otherwise the monster will eat you and the key will go to somebody else. And also, I have to activate my window.
Activate window.
Activate window all the time. It is activated. Damn it! I just bought the
We're gonna get reported now. We're gonna get sued.
I actually gave them $200 to buy the pro version, and since then, now it's nagging me to activate Windows. I'm not kidding. It was okay before, and then I upgraded after giving money, and now it's actually the opposite. 10 seconds, City! Oh my god! We got 7, 6, 5, 4, City! 3, 2, 1! Oh! Bruh. Oh, too bad. Well, I'm gonna spin it again then. I'm just gonna spin it again, but without sound, so it's just gonna run in the background.
Alright, so we had Eowyn asking if, since you guys have such a good success in your hands, do you have any plans for the future after Foundation, or are you just gonna focus on this for now?
Yeah, when's your next game?
Foundation, we need to finish that game. We believe we plan to work a couple of years on this game. So no plan for another game yet. We really want to polish this game and making the game we want with it. So after Foundation, the core experience, we will have some DLC too. We will support modding. So we expect like at least 1 or 2 years more on Foundation with the extension, and maybe more.
More. I'm tempted to say
maybe
only
loot
1
boxes.
year. Maybe loot boxes.
I want that hot villager skin, please.
I was tempting to say like only 1 year. It's actually like impressive. Like I don't know. Like for example, we released the Ships and Beats like a year ago-ish, even about like 9 months ago, and I can see like working on it like for a long time still. So like is like for example, if the success of Foundation keep growing, will you continue to work on it or add more feature, or like oh no, we're gonna stick on it at that point? Well, we talked about that earlier. Actually, you said that we had like a final product.
It's not set in stone, but we have our plan and we adapt it too because we get some really nice feedback from the community. Yes. So yes, one of the big challenge now that the game is in early access is Leo and I have some concentrate on developing the game because it would be easy to just
there's a lot of things to do other than programming right now, and we need to find a balance between managing the studio, the team, the community, events, podcasts.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, blame me now. Blame the host. That's gonna be good. No, speaking of events, though, you guys are coming to GDC?
Nope, not this year.
We're going on PAX, though. I mean, GDC and PAX are so like stick together. It's always hard to go to like both places. So
yeah. So if anyone in the chat are going to PAX, it's gonna be really cool. We have a big booth there, and we are bringing our musician too and our audio designer.
Yeah. So
it will be a great opportunity to meet them. They are really nice guys, more than us. So we definitely can't wait to go there and meet our players.
Is it the first time you go out on a convention with Foundation?
It's will be the third time.
Yeah.
We went to Mega in Montreal. Was the first time. And then we went to PAX South back in January. Went pretty well. So we met a lot of great people there.
PAX
It's
East
the
is
first
pretty
time
big, so.
What?
So PAX East is pretty big, though. I mean, compared to Mega and PAX South, I think that it's going to be your biggest show yet. Then,
For sure.
Yeah, I
It's
think
also
we're
your first.
4
God
days
damn
of the show. People are saying it's crazy.
yeah.
It's the first show you're gonna do since launch, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna have some actual players coming to see that they just found you on Steam.
Oh, we had some guys that played the alpha and like Kickstarter backers. We met a few in PAX South and in Montreal, but yeah, we probably meet more.
Are you going with Just Shape and Beats too? Or?
Yes,
Mike?
we are. We're going to GDC. I think that you guys, Olivier and Mike, you're flying tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm leaving in.
I have to
12
check
hours.
in
And you,
right
you,
now. in fact.
Yeah.
you still okay with that flight?
Fuck,
I'll be
man.
fine. Oliver, though,
Mike,
I'm not sure.
Mike
He might-
stayed like an hour or something over on the phone with Air Canada to make sure I don't fly on a
Oh my
on
God.
a 737 Max or something.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I still haven't figured out my flight actually. So
Yeah, because we can't afford to lose you. Not
I
yet.
can't afford myself to lose myself.
well, we can always go back to the grocery store and buy another coder with like the B12 thing, like I said, the other machine.
Somebody has to go
B12.
on that.
Quebec, you kick trash cans and coders come out.
They just scatter around.
Oh, yeah.
My mic keeps broken. Can I have another one, please?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna spin that thing again. This time we're gonna get it. All right, this time we're gonna get it because we cleared the participant list with a fresh new one. All right, guys, do me a favor, please be there for the giveaway. Where's my coffee? I know I have coffee. Ooh. What kind of games are you guys playing, by the way? Is it like a city builder? Did you plan to doing that because it was like trending, because it was popular, or because you guys are a good consumer of that?
Well, we both are fan of city builders. I'm a big fan of the Anno series, like the oldest one, like Dawn of Discovery.
Okay.
I play so much of that game. I'm also a big PS4 player. Right now, I'm waiting a lot for Sekiro. I don't know if you guys are waiting for this one, but I'm pretty excited about this game.
Okay.
It looks really, really, really good.
Yeah, and they said that the Dark Souls player will be kind of they won't be good at that game at first because they probably change a lot in the combat.
Okay, so you go in expecting like the same controls and you get the rug pulled out under your feet. They
showed a new trailer recently, and I'm not looking at it. I don't want to be spoiled at all.
I don't even know about that game at all. Like, I'm such an old guy when it comes to AAA games. Like, I just barely got my first, like, the last console I had was Xbox 360, like in 2004, I believe. And then I had kids, like lots of kids. And now I've just got myself like a Switch and a PS4, and I can't afford to play here and there, you know. So there's a huge gap where I don't know much game.
Yeah, Sekiro is the new game from Software, with the Dark Souls and Bloodborne people. So, and it's interestingly published by Activision.
Oh,
So that's something weird.
okay.
Yeah. It's like this year Activision has Call of Duty and Sekiro. I think that's pretty much it. And Blizzard, obviously, but
What was the publisher for the like Bloodborne?
Bloodborne is Sony, so it's a first-party exclusive. It's a second-party technically, but and the Dark Souls guys are Bandai Namco, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're moving around publishers.
Yeah, I would expect Sekiro to be more in the line of Bloodborne than Dark Souls.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
I still need to finish Bloodborne. It's
Yeah.
like the fourth year now that I'm trying to finish it, but
Yeah,
it's not technically my type of game.
I forced myself to finish Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 in that order, and when I finished, I was like crying in joy. I was like, not anymore. Bam! And then somebody told me that there's still Bloodborne. Fuck you.
It's really different. Really, it's subtle in the design why it's different, but it really changes the base.
I think I will enjoy Bloodborne though. I just binged
great.
all three in each other back to back, and I was like at the end I was like, okay, no more pain, please. Can I go play Harvest Moon at easy?
Yeah. Wait, which one was your favorite?
I like the first one for the ambience because the first one was really there was no music at all and you didn't know what to do and all that. So I really loved that. It has a little bit of a novelty to it. And the third one for the controls, I really did not like the controls for the first and the second one, but I'm more like a Metroid or a Mega Man guy, where in midair if you change direction it goes it's all based on reflex, whilst the Dark Souls are more like a strategic. When you press A, well you have to assume that swing for the next 4 seconds, so I'm not really that kind of guy, but the third one really nailed the controls because it felt really smooth, it felt a bit better, so that's my take on it. But the first Dark Souls, I was screaming at the screen saying it's hard for the bad reason. People were saying oh, it's challenging but fair. I was like, how having a skeleton fall from the sky fair? I was literally crossing a bridge. You die. I was like, what the fuck is that? That's fair, yeah. So
yeah, and it was super glitchy too. The number of videos I've seen of enemies just falling off the world because you just fuck around with the physics.
Yeah, right. It's because Jesus.
There's always a boss that you're trying for the 40 times and not able to beat it, and you talk about it to a friend. It's that one. Oh, I had it the second time. You're just what?
Yep.
How? Yeah.
It's
the one thing that really made me hate Dark Souls 1 was because there was a boss that I believe it was a side boss, like a side quest or something like that, because it was on a weird place and it was very difficult to do, and the camera was kept going glitching and all that, and the difficulty was way up the roof. So I was sure that it was a side quest. And I did not look on internet because I did not want to spoil anything, whatever. I wanted to have it the legit way. And at the end, I didn't know where to go. So I decided, I'm going to kill that side boss quest, I believe. So after 45 times, I managed to beat him, but kind of in a cheaty way. I did not feel any proud or any pride at the end.
In those games, that's totally fine. If you find a hack, it's
good
enough.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just I beat him. Yay, I guess. I was in the corner swinging my sword like this. That's not how fighting works, I believe. But anyway, I beat the game. I beat the guy, and then it gave me a key or something that unlocked the rest of the quest. And I was like, what? That was not a side quest. I was it was expected for me to just go in the corner and like this, so that's where it snapped. But after that, the rest of the game was real. I love the pacing of the game after that. So that was a very a soft lock for me. So.
There was one. I think it's. I'm kind of mixing Bloodborne and Dark Souls, but there was a hack. At some point, there was kind of 3 elite. Enemies in the forest, and they were really hard to beat, and there was a hack. If you were to go near a staircase, there was a cliff just close to that, and they will try to reach you. They will climb up the stairs and throw themselves down the cliff and die. Yeah, and
good stuff.
I just did that, and because it was so hard otherwise. So I haven't felt any
feature, that's not a bug, that's a feature.
It will be awesome if you can do that with all the bosses. You go fetch the boss and go backtrack. Come get me! Come get me!
Have a cliff, and you need to find a hack for them to throw themselves in the cliff.
I can just picture the entire cliff is just filled with bosses.
Yeah, right, a big pile.
There's a pile of bosses.
Of fire elemental and big freaking monsters.
And create a bridge at
Yeah.
the end to go to the final.
Yeah, right.
Jump on them.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You know what I love as well? Giveaways! Boom! Somebody's ringing. Somebody's alarm just went off as well.
It's me. I gotta go fetch the kids. Not.
Oh! Because you have
They
no
can walk.
kids. They can walk.
They're old
like
enough
the
to go in the
latest-
army, they can walk.
The latest Detective Pikachu thing with Ryan Reynolds, like the guy got the role and he says like, yeah, I had to go fetch the kids, but when I had the role, I became Pikachu, and I don't know these kids, so I did not go. And his wife's like, no, he did not go. He's crazy.
We got Musher666 who has won. Please say something in the chat. You have 41 seconds, 40 seconds. If you want a key for Foundation, it's probably going to be the last key. Do we have any other question, Mike? What's on the menu? Are we about to wrap this up?
People asking if AOWin again is asking if you guys are planning to release Foundation on home consoles, like PlayStation and Xbox, Switch, Ouya. I don't know.
We don't believe that the game can run on the current generation consoles, because it's pretty CPU and GPU intensive. So not for the current generation. After that, we keep every option open.
Yeah, but as we said earlier, first game for the engine and for the studio, maybe not push our luck to making a cross-platform engine for the first game.
Yeah.
So first we need to finish the game for PC, and then we'll see what opportunity we have.
But we definitely think about it, but we won't make any decision anytime soon, because it's kind of tricky if you start to think about having them on console maybe, and then you need to do some evaluation, and all of those things would would prevent us to concentrate on the game. So we don't
What
want
about VR?
yet.
Yeah, and we don't want to sacrifice some features because we think that it won't work on consoles, or we see it won't work on consoles, and like the game need to be the best game we can on PC. And if these things can work on consoles, then if we have time and if there's need for that, we'll see what we do.
And I bet, like, not only that, because you have, like, it's a heavily mouse and keyboard game. I mean, you have to redo the entire interface when you want to go to consoles, and that represents a lot of works, like way more than just moving a couple of windows around. So there's a lot of job in there.
Now there's a lot of city builders coming to consoles.
Okay.
Like City Skyline are on console. Tropico. I played Tropico. It was Tropico 5, I think. Was free on PlayStation Plus, and I played it. It was pretty cool, actually. The controls were impressive for a city builder on console. So yeah, it might be possible to have some interesting controls with Foundation. But I think Foundation has a lot of systems, a lot of UI. So yeah, like you said, it will be a good challenge.
Yeah, it's very like. I remember when I was a kid, it was like, oh, it should be like pretty easy to port it. The game is already done. They just have to put it on the console. Like,
Oh yeah.
how naive was I?
My tears.
It's like, yeah, it's like I don't know. If like there's 20 red house, and you're just like, oh, we just want to change the color. We're gonna paint them green. It's just one color, right? It's gonna be fast. Like that's not how it works. It represented a lot of job.
Have you explored the VR space at all, or like trying to like basically be God in VR?
I'm sure it would be cool.
Do it, Leo. Do it.
That's a very politic answer.
Friendly, yeah. That would be very cool. He cannot work on that because he's busy working on his own home console. It's gonna be like a PlayStation 5.
It's like soldering boards behind them.
Polybox.
The
The Leo
Polybox.
box.
The Polybox station.
Oh, I love it.
Just send me the SDK when you have it, okay?
There you go. It's confirmed. The Polybox coming up with Just Ships and Beats as a launch title. Confirmed. Nice. Do we have any other question, Mr. Mike? Or are we about to wrap this up?
I think we just got one last question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is the biggest hurdle that you had to face during game development?
Oh.
For Foundation, that's a good question.
It was all easy.
Everything was easy. I just come up to work without pens and things got work.
I don't know. What?
Probably depend on the periods.
That was a tough question. I'll answer it like on my side. Like the hardest thing I want to say the hardest thing, for example, in Zombito was trying to share stuff with your community without like always thinking that you're walking on eggs, you know, like, because you want to share everything, you want to be transparent and all, but sometimes you just like say an extra bit of information and people are like, oh, you're going that way, oh boo, like no, I'm just like I don't want to spoil everything, but so that battle, that I really that's not the worst part of my job, but that's something I really like. I don't know how to handle it. Like I want to share everything, but when I do, Mike screams at me.
Yeah.
It's
He whispers in your ear in your sleep.
Yeah, because he's literally here, like across my windows. He's just like watching me sleep.
Right now, the challenge is to find time to focus on the game. It's about to become a reality because, well, yeah, just after the early access, we had a lot of things to handle, and now slowly it's starting to get better. But we need to find another way to work because we have a lot of players. We didn't have that a few weeks ago, and the team will grow also a little bit. We'll need to handle that properly. So that's the new challenge. In the early days, one of the challenge we had was to find time to focus on the game while we were also making some work for hire for the company and splitting the time and switching your brain to, okay, now I'm on that and now on the game and yeah.
So do you
and sleep the night also.
Speaking of being distracted, didn't you guys just win a prize at the Ubisoft Indie Series?
Yes, sure.
You did?
That was yesterday, yeah.
Congrats!
2 days ago, last Wednesday, we were the prix coup de cœur of National Bank.
National Bank.
National Bank. So yeah, it was a contest created by Ubisoft to it's a competition between indie studios, and there was a lot of interesting studios there too. Yeah, so pretty proud of this.
Congrats.
This is a kind of example that there's so much thing to do. Like to just prepare for this event. It took us days, you know. So and it was in Montreal, so we needed to go to Montreal, but prepare the presentation. So more than half of the week was just dedicated to this event. It's a great event. We are happy to have participated in it, but it's a kind of example that we're not programming now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you wear a lot of hats when you go indie. I remember that I was like, oh, I want to go indie because I'll be working on what I want to do, and then like I'm an indie, I'm like, oh, I want to work on what I want to do. It was like,
you like doing taxes or?
Yeah, exactly. Like doing taxes and answering emails. I'm like, no, I want to code. God damn it. Yeah. Yeah, it takes
like we're going to GDC right now, and I can see the task pile just going bigger and bigger for a few days.
But at the same time, those events are great. Like going to like GDC, it's like allow you to just have a new sight on what's happening in the industry, and it can be really inspiring. Like,
Yeah, that's why we got you here on the show. I mean, getting some contacts and hearing other stories, exchanging advice and tips and stuff like that. You know, that's always like that's very worth was the word valuable. There we go. I did it. I did English.
You did it.
I-
Words. They're awesome.
You're awesome at words. Yeah, so I think it's time to wrap this up, guys. So if we want to follow your development at Polymorph Games, follow the awesome updates and feature and Polybox coming up very soon. Where do we follow you guys? Twitter accounts?
Our Discord I think it's a better place to discuss and exchange about the game. So you can follow us on Twitter also, Facebook, and there's some stuff happening on Reddit too. So if you're curious, you can go there as well.
Perfect. So I'll just permit you guys in the chat. So we're gonna spam all the links. Yeah, guys, thank you very much for being here. It was the first edition of having new guests around, so it went very well. Like I wish you guys all the success with Foundation, and thank you very much for being here today with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
it was
thanks
really
for
cool.
having us. So it was great, good experience.
Sweet.
And we are waiting for you on the next beer and pie.
Beer and tart.
Beer and tart.
Yeah, of course, I won't be there this time. I mean, I'll say online I'll be there, but then I can say whatever I want offline.
Yeah, it's like saying you're going to a Facebook event and never showing up.
Yeah, right. Can I take
Nobody
maybe?
knows.
Interested. Only.
I'm gonna blame my kids if I don't come. That's my that's always what I do. All right,
That's
anyway,
what she said?
you want to leave on that?
Yes.
we had a nice outro and just screw it up.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Yeah, you're going to the tunnel again. There you go.
Bye.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Please follow this channel if you want more Berzerk Podcast. Go follow those awesome guys as well, Polymorph Games, Phil and Leo. Please, thank you very much again for being here today. I wish you all the luck, and you guys are the best, especially you. Goodbye.